Hey guys, it's Master Will from Training Around Jiu-Jitsu and MMA here. And what I want to do today is I want to show you some of the techniques that you're going to be learning as a student here at the Academy. 5 ways to choke a man unconscious. I hope you like the title there. But they really are 5 very effective chokes that you're going to be learning. And the first one is called the head and arm guillotine. The reason why I like it so much is because it's very high percentage, meaning that if you find yourself in that position and you do the details the way that I'm going to teach you to do them, there's a really high probability that you're going to be able to get this choke. So let me show you what it looks like first. So I have my partner who's in the mount position, or I'm in the mount position. I'm going to cross my feet underneath him and lock my legs super tight over his hip. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab underneath his head, grab his chin, and if his head is at 12 o'clock, what I want to do is I want to put my head to 2 o'clock. So here's 1 o'clock, here's 2 o'clock. And you see what it does to his neck? It really turns his neck. It prevents him from rolling me this way. Because if I have my head here and I have my hand over here, he can't roll me this way because of my hand, and he also can't roll me the other way because it's going to tweak his neck, all right? He can't do that really effectively. So once I get here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my right arm and swim underneath his arm. He will be holding my arm tight, and I'm going to go elbow to elbow, and I'm going to start pushing the floor away, popping in a circle, pushing the floor away, popping in a circle, just like this. You see, until my left hand can grab his armpit right here. And my right hand grabs my elbow. So I'm basically just bear hugging him, all right? Holding everything super tight. Now, once I do this, I'm going to get my chin to the other side of his arm right here. So it's just going to serve as a temporary block until I can get my head all the way to the mat. So once I'm here, my chin gets over here, watch my head, it goes quickly to the ground. Now, what I mean is, I want to take my neck and I want to put it right on his shoulder and curve my head towards his head. If you notice, my left arm, my wrist is facing the ceiling, so if I had a watch, I'd be able to look at it. So it's not like this, it's like this. Once I do that, I'm going to go palm to palm, and I'm going to dismount. The way I'm going to dismount is I'm going to do leg work. I'm going to swivel my left leg, see over here? I'm going to swivel it around his legs, just like this. See, I swiveled it around, and it caught his leg, just like that. So when I'm here, I swivel, and I catch his leg, and then I'm going to go flat from here. Now, once I'm down here, I want to do my checklist, meaning I want to look to make sure, or feel rather, to make sure that my left shoulder is underneath his chin, all right? That feels good to me, so I want to make sure now that his arm is across his neck and not across his face, all right? So it's across his neck, that's good. Now what I want to do is I want to push my neck into his shoulder, and then I want to start lifting his head off the ground with my wrist. See how when I flex my wrist, his head comes off the ground, just like this? So what I do is I push my head into his neck, and then I start lifting his head off the ground, and then I'm going to start walking away, just like the hands of a clock. My legs are going to do this, so watch. When I put all those things together, I push in, I lift up, and I start walking away, he taps out. Now, common mistakes with this position that I want to go over with you. First common mistake is this, is that people get here to the mount position, right? They do this, but they forget to put their head over here. What happens is he grabs your arm, because this arm is both a liability and an asset. Let me show you how it's a liability. He grabs your arm and just rolls you over in a simple sweep, all right? Now, it's an asset if I go to 2 o'clock. So now I go underneath, all right? And notice, you can either cross your feet or grapevine them like this. But you'll be going over that here in the Academy. So when I come here, I push, I push, I push. Common mistake is this. If I let my elbow get outside of his elbow, he swims underneath. So I gotta make sure that when I do that, it stays inside his elbow. It can't go outside. So I push, I push, I push, and now, next common mistake. People get here, but they will keep their shoulder on the person's face, right? When you see, or when someone's doing, like someone's getting executed, right, and they have the noose around their neck, they notice the noose is not on their face, it's not on their teeth, it's not on their cheek, it's all the way around the neck. So you have to make sure you're creating a noose with your forearm, your bicep, your shoulder, and then his arm and his shoulder. So like if any part of that noose isn't in the right place, well, the choke's not going to work as effectively and it may not work at all, right? So we have to make sure that we do our checklist. So here, if my shoulder's on his face, I'm gonna move it underneath his chin, underneath the chin, right? Now, once I'm here and I dismount, if his arm's like this, I'll move it back with my hand and then lock everything in so that the noose has a full circle. Remember, next common mistake is gonna be this, guys. Here is gonna be this. If you don't push your head into his head, it's not gonna be tight. If you don't lift his head off the ground by flexing your wrist, it's not gonna be tight. But when you do all of those things together, I don't even have to move. And then he starts to tap out, okay? So, that is the head and arm triangle, one of the most high percentage chokes that you can get in Jiu-Jitsu. And so practice it as much as you can. You know, I always say you have to practice something like 1,000 times before it becomes something that you can actually use when your adrenaline's going, you're in competition. So make sure you practice over and over and over and see how it works for you.